What's up, everybody? This is Josh from the Sharpest Tool over here at Scorpion with my good friend Bosco. Bosco,
what's up, everybody?
At the time of this recording, take a little bit of a hiatus given a holiday, but we're back in the virtual booth and could be more excited for a roundup of everything that we've been talking about that you've been hearing about from the past few episodes about paid advertising. Big topic, right? I don't think you're ever done learning about paid advertising.
You're never done with paid advertising. And it's like, I feel like you do one thing right and something changes and you got to reiterate and go through it again. Oh, by the way, it changed again. You just reiterate it. Let's do it again. But I love it too, because in most cases, it can be very black and white to a degree.
To a degree, yeah. I love binary things. You know, speaking of which, why did the construction worker get in trouble with his boss? You ever hear about this?
Oh, okay, here we go. Okay, I see what you're doing. I forgot. This is what happens when you take a holiday break. You got to come back to this.
Too much.
All right. So
yeah. Why the construction worker get in trouble with his boss? It's the latest story.
I don't know why.
He kept cutting corners.
Oh, that's a well-rounded joke.
That's a good one. A good one to bring us back in. It's been a busy week, friends. Busy week, crushing some goals with our customers and just talking to the many people we get to talk to day in and day out as we continue to move the team here at Scorpion forward. But paid search advertising, boy, what a topic. And I love that we're talking about changes because I think we wanted to round this out. There was so much information in the past few episodes regarding paid search advertising, everything from what is paid search advertising to leveraging it for growth. How do you maximize your paid search advertising campaigns? How do you crack that digital code, right? What are some strategy insights that we have over here at Scorpion? We went through a number of kind of topics and conversations. And what's interesting is you called out the changes, how things are changing over time. It might be cool to like step back. Like if we look at like oftentimes when people think paid advertising, they always think Google pay-per-click. They had the introduction, the local service ads. It's all, but pay-per-click's like the main thing, which is where you pay for every time someone clicks on your ad. Goes.
No,
over
we're not talking
website,
a pay-per-click
right?
that you hold your papers together. We're talking.
No, not a paperclip,
but a pay per click.
I love it. I love it. So there's been a lot of changes, even with pay-per-click. Like one of the biggest things that always sticks out to me, and I want to hear like how you've seen this manifest too, is pay-per-click advertising often operates with matching somebody's advertisement, what we're saying and what we want to get in front of with a specific audience that's searching a specific keyword. And one of the ways that Google matches up ads with keywords is through what they call match types, right? So you have these things where Google's trying to match up what somebody is searching with what you want to show up for. And so there's different ways they do that. It could be an exact match where historically that's been, well, exact match is more geared towards things that are exactly this. If I'm searching for a just plumber, I'm only going to show my ad to people who only put in plumber, right? Versus phrase match, which might be if somebody is searching for plumber near me and I'm just wanting to show up for plumber, but as a phrase, in a phrase, I will show up for somebody searching for plumber entering near me. That's a phrase that is matched up, right? Versus broad, which I search for plumber and there's loose associations, right?
Here it comes.
Open the floodgates where somebody's like my car is flooding because my daughter dropped her milk in the car and it's all over the place. And all of a sudden Google's like, flood, milk on the car. Plumber, right? So sometimes there's really loose associations and all have their place in the hierarchy of this. But what we've seen over time, how this has changed as Google's gotten more intelligent with how they want to match things up with search intent and based off search behavior and things like that. These have gotten a lot looser in association, right? Your exact match has kind of become more like
phrase match.
Your phrase match. It's getting looser associated and your phrase more like broad and your broad more like even broader if that's possible, right? So it's, again, they all have their place, but it seems like Google is driving more towards this world of automation in the future. Something where we're taking value-based bidding, right? Things where a job value determines where you should be placing your dollars. Smart, by the way. But it seems like that's the direction that Google's been making, and a lot of companies are having to adapt to that and adjust expectations around how to run a campaign. But it's just interesting seeing the change. What are your thoughts on seeing that map itself out over the years, Bosco?
I definitely agree. In terms of, first of all, Google, the matchmaker. That's what we see here all the time. You either love it or you hate it. I understand it. But no matter what, for every business, I always tell is that your clients live on Google. Primary search engine. Got to use it. Okay. So over time, we've seen the iteration and the process change. And it's exactly that, where we've changed this exact match. Now we've got, as everybody knows, a lot of competition that wants to utilize keywords, going for plumber near me or just plumber, water heater, AC repair. And over time, you're seeing this change over time. What Google is trying to do, and I've said this to a lot of clients, is that Google doesn't really want to focus per se on the businesses coming in, but Google wants to focus on the searchers that are using the search engine. How do I make it easier for them?
Yeah.
Right? So the catering to them. Trust me, we want Google to do what we want it to do, but at the same time, Google cares about its searchers because that's who's using the search engine. So over time, this automation of refining the process of how people are searching, and we've talked about this before, because in most cases, when you need an immediate, yes, you're going to type in AC repair, but in other cases, what you're seeing is people are trying to be more self-sufficient in terms of DIY, as an example. So there's a lot more long tail keyword matches. So what they've done, and this is from what I've seen, is they are making these adjustments from exact to phrase to broad to throwing something at the wall, hope it sticks. Essentially what you're doing is you're saying,
Yeah.
hey, people are searching for this long tail keyword. Yes, there's a lot of exact, but a long tail because of DIY, this is probably what you want. So you're seeing a lot of that. For example, I'd like to know how a plumber replaces a broken pipe under my sink. And all of a sudden it's like plumber broken sink. I'm going to serve an ad to you. But again, I didn't really want to get a plumber. I just wanted the video of it or something like that. So you're seeing a lot of these shifts make, but over time, the refinement of what Google's trying to understand is that they're trying to understand this automation aspect to ensure that we can get the right ads to the right people.
Yeah, and drive it really, right? Because as people's search vocabulary has changed too, search engines have gotten smarter. You introduce generative AI, where it's conversational in nature. Google and other search engines, a lot of people are doing this, especially ChatGPT changes the game, right? Which for those who don't know, it's a AI-based conversational text generator, right? So it's something that you can converse with, have an intelligent conversation that pulls in enormous masses of information and can be really accurate about certain things. And so people are adopting it in different ways. I mean, at Scorpion, we're adopting it obviously with our AI chat product, which is huge, huge. It provides such a powerful experience for the end consumer because they're getting real, accurate information. And this thing knows the business better than a CSR might, or better than a chat agent might. And the business intimately, they know John's plumbing as well as generally the plumbing industry, right? Different topic, different conversation. But the reality is, as AI continues to understand more about sentiment of what somebody's searching, people are learning to trust it more and more and more. Now, there are still ways to go to fully trust it. But as they learn to trust what results get spit back out, people are learning to converse with it. So they're having conversations. Google's seen this over time. People are getting more conversational in how they search. So they're not always just searching for plumber. They're searching for things that are related to plumber, specific situations, specific opportunities. And Google's seeing that and wanting to mash that together. Now, what's really powerful about this, I think about this often as like, what's the future hold? Like, what's the path forward, knowing that these trends are existing? Because you can always maximize the performance, which is powerful. You can always maximize how you get more clicks. You can also even maximize how you get more calls, right? But as we all know, you don't have to be in the services industry for long to know that you're going to get calls from people who want your business and want to do business with you, people who are shopping around. You're getting calls from people who are irrelevant, but they clicked on your ad. That's part of the game. But the real question that we ask in marketing, right, is how do we get more of the ones who actually pay dollars to us? Well, let's break down that problem statement, right? The first thing we got to ask ourselves is which areas, which advertising channels, which keywords are actually generating revenue for the business? And then can we match those together? And that's a tricky thing historically for business owners to do.
It always is. Together, I mean, right? The future can hold so many different things. We've seen, I mean, do you remember when LSAs just got introduced? Like it's something new in the playing field.
Oh yeah, no, it was HSAs back in the day, right? Remember that?
Service ads,
Home services ads. And then they were like, let's expand it.
Yeah, so there's always going to be new things rolling out, right? And it's not only a learning curve for businesses out there, not only a learning curve for marketing, but digital marketing, but Google's doing the same thing and going through these different processes. I mean, at one point, they could even go, we're not going to run RSAs, any more responsive search ads. We're not going to have you create ads. What we're actually going to do, we're going to serve an ad, but our ads are AI generated by crawling your site. And if it has the right information, we're going to serve it. why not?
Yeah.
But again, it's about this AI technology. But you're exactly right. It's about matching it because again, it's the searcher. Google is trying to understand you, the searcher, who is using the search engine, on how you are reacting with it, what you're searching for, what are your needs, what are your wants. I want to understand you better. I'm Google search engine, and I want to get to know you. I want to get comfortable with you. And now I'm AI learning all this stuff. And so essentially, what we're trying to do is match it to those businesses. So digital marketing agencies are going through that all the time,
Yeah.
making sure. But the ones that are on top of it are the ones that are adapting with the AI technology who does that as well.
Yeah. And you know what? It's going to sound biased, but I've surveyed a lot of the businesses, a lot of the agencies in the market, and Scorpion really does a phenomenal job staying on top of the trends by really thinking 3 steps ahead. How do we become a fully integrated marketing solution, which is exactly what we've become and what we're continuing to become as we learn how to use AI even more powerfully in a customer's marketing campaign. So in a business's marketing campaign, it's pretty amazing actually when you think about it. What Scorpion's able to provide to the small business owner, leveraging all the technology. It's not just about running an advertising campaign. It's about the end-to-end attribution that you're getting. Well, don't just stop there, end-to-end attribution, but then on top of that, how the attribution is informing and changing what your advertising is doing. That's the future. And that has to come from taking me as a business in my QuickBooks or in my Jobber or in my Service Titan, enter CRM account here, right? How do I get that information to connect with everything my marketing is doing and then take it a step further? So we have the end-to-end attribution, but then how do I make it so that information is funneling dollars to different channels over time based off the real data that converts into business? And how does that inform the areas that I should be going after and tackling through my paid advertising campaign? It dovetails into organic as well, but we know that where you do the most business, where you are found, where you do the most business and where you're found work hand in hand, right? Where you do the most business is where you're known. Where you're known, the more that you are known in a specific area, the cheaper things are, the more word of mouth you get, the more repeat business and referrals you get. So imagine having a system. The future really is a system that fully integrates this, that shuffles dollars around based on making sure we're maximizing the areas that you're in because you're well known, leads are cheaper there. We have a different strategy that's being deployed to areas you're not as well known, but you want to do business in. That ultimately is building that brand awareness first to funnel people into the sales funnel that you have. It's just a powerful future.
Well, that's true. So I want to touch on something you were hitting on. It's exactly the full-fledged marketing ecosystem. And I love that's a word you use a lot. I love that, the ecosystem of digital marketing, right? So imagine a world where, let's use Henderson as the example, right? We're going to use Henderson, and I'm marketing in Henderson. And now imagine that if I started advertising, perfect world, imagine I get on my first click, the first lead comes in. It's 100% conversion. I just imagine a perfect world. But here's what we know. We advertised for something. So you ran an advertising for a need that they had, and they converted, right? So what this system is doing end to end is understanding that concept, right? So now it's understanding, here's what they searched for, here's what they clicked on, here's what they converted on, here's what they needed based on the call, right? Especially listening to those calls. AI is going to be dominating this whole market, but having that end-to-end system, that ecosystem is exactly what is needed because now you can understand, wouldn't you want to repeat that process? Yes. Imagine a system that's helping you do that. Wow. That's what, and to your point, I understand about being biased. And I would say the same thing, especially when you have talked to other businesses and you hear what's happening outside of Scorpion. Scorpion's on the forefront, always about improving the lives of business owners. That's what it's about. So how do we improve the lives and make it more efficient and effective for you, right? And then refining it and making it better. Guess what? We're going to keep making it better.
You know, we're going to need to have a whole section on just AI because I don't even think I had it on the initial roadmap for the season, but AI, that we're doing it, people. So stay tuned. The power of AI, man, everything you're saying is exactly right. It's the direction that the future is going, how we leverage more of that. You think about like our ranking AI product, right? What's it intended to do? You hit on it, efficiency. How do we drive efficiency? Traditional SEO typically requires an SEO manager, right? Or somebody who's helping you rank and be found. It requires them to go do a ton of research, which requires man hours. Man hours mean time invested, means more money that you got to spend to do that research. And that's not even getting to the right work. But when you can leverage, like what Scorpion's leveraged in the ranking AI product, you're leveraging AI and machine learning to understand the dynamics that are at play that, by the way, as you pointed out, change constantly, to identify what the most important activities are for you to improve your ranking and being found in a local market, in a local area with a specific services that you need to be found for. What are the most important pieces that you need to do today, right? Prioritize them. And then all of a sudden, the team that you have executing on those things can do more of them in the time for what you're ultimately paying for your team to be able to do that. So there's power there. And then there's going to be power with the paid advertising piece when you sync up your CRM, or you get that customer data. If you're not using a CRM today, you're still working out of like a Google Sheet. You're syncing that data over with your Scorpion advertising platform to be able to drive business results. Because what you will see, it's pretty powerful. You take a look at all the campaigns you run, and when you start mapping this data, you'll be like, this one generated these clients. This one generated these clients. This one in this area didn't do as well. Maybe we need to make some adjustments or tweaks, or maybe we need to actually stop that one and funnel all the dollars here. The conversations with your marketing team become really powerful at that when you give them the ability to sync that data together.
Yeah,
it's power.
It's like
power.
I put in perspective of fishing. That's just what I do. I love fishing, as we all know. I've said this. We said this on another episode, but think of it this way too. For anybody that's gone fishing, right? When you go fishing, first of all, fish don't necessarily care about the pole, but it's about the bait, right? What's the type of bait you're using? So when you get out there and use a lure, live bait, artificial bait, what you're doing is you're testing the waters, pun intended. You're testing the water to see what you can actually catch, right? So this is what we're trying to actually do. So all of a sudden, guess what? You get a hit. I spent 3 hours out there and I finally got a hit. And all of a sudden, this is what they're hitting on. So I'm going to try it again. I got a hit. This is awesome. I'm going out and recast. I was at the right depth, right? And all of a sudden, boom, I get another hit. Guess what's happening? As an angler, you're going to keep using that lure. Same concept in marketing. You're testing the waters, you're readjusting, you're refining the process. And all of a sudden, you're in the right area, let's say of the lake, where you're finding the fish. All of a sudden, you're marketing to the right people because you're seeing it over and over again. That's how you're hitting on it.
Yeah. So key takeaways from this, a lot of information in the prior episodes here on Sharpest Tool regarding paid search advertising. Don't miss them. Go back, listen to them, share them around, talk about them with your friends. Email your marketing manager, your account manager, your customer success manager, whoever you're working with, and make sure that you have these conversations with them, because this is exactly what's going to help move the business forward. And then on top of that, really making sure that we're just stepping back and thinking about how is the future going to change and how do I stay on the cutting edge as far as the technology is concerned and as far as my strategy is concerned. Asking those questions will always help you stay ahead of the competition. It will always help you stay ahead of the competition. But yeah, we said it before, we'll say it again. If you're not there walking with somebody on their journey, on their buying journey, somebody else will be. And so it's so important to make sure you're the business that's walking with somebody along their journey, and really making sure you're investing properly to be able to do that. There's another topic that we'll have to get into, as well as like making sure the investment's smart. It's not just about throwing money to throw money at something, but it's about making sure it's an intelligent financial decision in terms of what percentage of your top line revenue you're investing into marketing, and making sure the strategy follows suit. And that's something the right team can help you with. So powerful stuff, Bosco.
I always appreciate you, man. I love being here.
For everybody who hasn't had an opportunity to, definitely hit that subscribe button and tap that like button, pound it if you need to, so we can continue to get more of this awesome content out to you. And if you know somebody who needs to hear about the future of paid advertising, share this episode around. There's so many business owners who need to have this conversation with, and we need to start getting this out into the home services space. So until next time, I'm Josh.
Bosco.
That's Bosco. We'll talk to you then.